Okay. I really do need to get a moderator, don't I? So what's up, guys? I know that some of you may be able to watch this now. Some of you may be able to jump into this stream now, but maybe not for everybody. You know, I don't know. Well, let me adjust this. Get everything set up. Okay. Get this out of the way. So, in today's stream, for those of you who are here to see it, I really wanted to share this one live because with this first edition Charizard, I did not get to share that. We got the first person in the live stream. I'm just giving a briefing for those who are going to watch this later on. We are going over the other Charizard that is going to be in this box, which is another first edition Charizard, PSA graded in a 5. But this one is a thick stamped variant, and this one is a thin stamped variant. Of course, this video will actually be about verifying and authenticating the card, kind of reviewing it for myself, which normally I would review these kinds of cards. We got the second person in the live stream. We're going to be verifying this first edition Charizard card. We got one successfully. Now we're going to verify this one. I never want to go through this again because honestly, this was the most stressful thing almost the most stressful thing I've ever purchased in my entire life. Like, not only, like, yes, it was only a $4,000 card, which to some, it'll be like mind-blowing for a Pokemon card to be that much. But, you know, it's not the fact that it's a $4,000 card. It's more so the fact that the card was... It's just such a small thing. Yo, we got the other 3 people in the live stream. I know I'm like 20 minutes late. I'm trying to figure out life in general right now. It looks like my daughter slobbered on me. For my fellow dads out there, poetry for some. What up, my man? What's up, man? I have no idea. Going over this first edition Charizard. We just had 2 in the stream, but they popped out. I used to have to go to work or something. But we're going over this first edition. I wanted to do it on a live stream. I knew that a lot of people were probably going to be at work, probably not going to be able to watch the live stream, but this is when I have time to do it since I work mainly during the weekends. So we're going to be going over the second first edition Charizard. Before I go over, well, I'll keep this one up here until I need it for reference. But before I go into going over the first edition Charizard that we have from the mail and comparing it to that one, I just want to say something regardless of who's in the stream right now, because people will watch this stream later. This past week was all about my wife. Her birthday was yesterday. We were supposed to do a stream, but it just got too late, so we bailed on it, and I had to do it this morning. But regardless, last week, the reason I didn't put out as much content like I normally do, which is sometimes multiple videos a day, is because it was kind of her week, and I owed it to my wife to take a little bit of time away. 30 minutes a day, even an hour a day of doing videos, it really adds up fast. So I wanted to be fair to her and lay off on doing videos and streams for a little bit. The next thing that I want to talk about is, you know, a lot of YouTubers I feel like are not able to get, until they become streamers maybe, are not able to really get personal with everybody in the channel. Maybe it's too personal to be saying this stuff to people in the channel, but I don't care. This is my channel, and I'm going to do what I want on this channel. And what I want to tell you guys is I am going through some serious shit. Like, I don't want to say the full word because I feel like I'll get, they'll like demonetize the video or something, but I'm going through some serious shit right now. Like, to be real with you guys, my mom is getting a kidney transplant. She's been extremely private about it, hasn't told really anybody, but I'm not, you know, and people, you know, whether it's at the bar when I'm managing and operating the bar, or whether it's just in my personal life reaching out to me and I don't reach back out, or whether it's on this channel and I stop like responding to some people's comments in this next month or doing videos as much, I just want to get it out there because I still want to do videos as much as I can, but this is going to affect that massively. Second Charizard, let's go. Ani Life, what up, what up? Prayers to you and your family. Poetry for some, thank you. I appreciate it. My mom is getting a kidney transplant, and that really makes me nervous, and she's really not doing well. And so this past week was not just about my wife, but it was also about spending time with my family, with my mom specifically. Everything is going to be okay. It has to be okay. I can't run the business. I can't do the bar all by myself. I can't do it. I don't want to run the business by myself. I don't want to do things without my mom and my dad there with me to do them. I love them a lot. I have an extremely good relationship with my parents, and not everybody has that blessing. You know, there's religious belief and there's believing in God, and then there's like my parents, and I believe in my parents more than anything. So my dad is going in as well. So my mom and dad are both getting kidney transplants at the same time. We will be here throughout the hardship. And that's the thing that I don't think everybody in my personal life understands, is that the YouTube has turned into more than just the YouTube. Even with just 1,300 subs, that's 1,300 potential people that might be going through the same struggle as me and the same pain as me. And like, this room makes me happy no matter like what happens in my family life. Like, every man needs a cave, a hole to crawl into every now and again. And like that, this is my cave. This is my hole to crawl into every now and again. And I feel like a kid here, and usually my spirits are better in here no matter what. I almost didn't talk about this because I'm feeling like I'm in a good mood. I'm making a video and it's feeling good. Scalper TCG, what up, nerds? What up, nerd? I'm talking about some personal life shit right now. There I go, cursing again. So my mom and dad, my dad doesn't need the kidney, but my mom is going in for the kidney. And my dad is, somebody's giving my mom a kidney that needs a kidney, but my dad wasn't a fit for my mom, but is a fit for this other person. Y'all get what I'm saying? So 3 people are going in for this operation that's going to take place, I think, in 2 weeks. Maybe it's not in 2 weeks, but they're prepping me for it. They're like making sure that I can drive my dad and mom everywhere, take them to all their appointments, do everything. So I'm getting ready for that. But it's just like everything is gonna be good. Chris Padilla, I appreciate that, Chris. Everything is gonna be good with my family. I do any kind of surgery. When you go in under surgery for anything pretty major, it's gonna be stressful. No one's gonna kill my mom and dad simultaneously because of a kidney transplant. That's not gonna happen. But there will be a long road to recovery once they get back. I'm sure it'll take probably 2 months for them to be fully capable of doing things. That means I'm running the bar on my own. That means I'm driving my mom and dad everywhere. That means I still am trying to spend time with my 1-year-old while all this is going on. And then there's, obviously the less prioritized, the YouTube. So I just wanted to put that all out there before I get headfirst into this video, which I'm very excited. On another note, somebody just left. They're like, I can't listen to this personal problem crap any longer. On another note, we're about to get back into this. Someone to brighten your spirits is here to say hi. My wife was originally supposed to be on the live stream with me, but she just couldn't do it. We can only do that when Aspen's asleep. Aspen, you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody.
Say hi.
All right, guys, bear with me. I appreciate everyone kind of being silent in the chat right now. I actually really appreciate that. I just want to be able to have this coffee and get ready to review this card. It's going to be insane. You're actually blocking out my light right now. But you can get in the picture. Get in the picture with me.
I'm too. There's no chair, so it's
you can take this chair.
To,
just take everything off that chair. You can take it in the chair. It's just junk on that chair.
Okay. We're not
Are you sure?
Here for long. Yeah. You're finishing lunch, but she was banging on your door. I don't know if you heard her.
This is amazing, by the way.
You like it?
Yeah. I don't know what you did there, but it's amazing. Okay, guys. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. So this came from, I can't make anything out. James something. I know they're going to watch this video when I'm done with it and done reviewing the card, but James and Associates on eBay. This came from James and Associates. Hopefully all goes well. I'm just going to open it like so. Okay. All right. Right off the bat. All right, we've got our blue in there. We see that it's been eBay authenticated. God, this took once it got here, it took 5 days for me to actually get this card because FedEx was just being a pain in the butt. They were supposed to hold the card. Then they said they couldn't hold the card. Then they said it got delivered. Then I went back and they were like, it's on a night route. I went to FedEx like 3 times to try and get this card. It was a nightmare. On top of everything happening with my parents, on top of just being gone a couple days in Asheville, I was really stressed out because, again, it's just a Pokemon card. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But also, $4,000 Pokemon card, yeah, that'd stress anybody out if that's sitting at your FedEx and you just can't get it because you go on a trip. All right. People going in and out of the stream hurts my feelings. I wish they would at least be like, all right, I've got work, I gotta go, like, but I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, I don't know. I shouldn't care, but I do. All right, so here you guys go. Here's the card. First up, it looks like another really strong 5 contender. Just off of seeing the first one, looking at the second one, everything looks right on this card. It looks really good. All right, now chat can go off. Now chat can chime in. Tell me what you guys think. I will put this, let's get this out of here. I will put this next to the other one that I have right there. We will be able to tell the difference. This one, right off the bat, guys, this one is more scratched up than the other one. More scratched up for sure. Like, this card is only worth 4K, for sure. My other 5 actually looks so much cleaner than this. Yeah, Warriors 4K, and then tax, so 4,400. And this one, if you look really closely, I don't know if my iPhone camera will pick it up. It should. But, okay, first off, you'll notice there's scratch right there. And it goes through the holo. Scratch right there. I don't even have to look at this thing. I know this thing's legit. Just off of having that other one for the last, like, week, couple days, I can tell this one's legit. Up on this side, there's also a scratch that goes through the holo, which you should be able to make out. I like the thin stamp better than the thick. Really? Seriously? I mean, you know what's interesting? Some people think the thin stamp should be a thick stamp because it's a thicker ink. So some people think the thin stamp should have the thicker ink. The holo is too shiny. Whoa. Whoa. Actually, it's a really good point. It's a really good point you're making there. I haven't even looked at this one. I might be wrong, guys. I actually might be wrong. What he just said just now, the holo being too shiny, as I look at this holo pattern is not anything close to the holo pattern of my other Charizard. I'm trying to compare it, but it's not really comparable. The holos that I'm seeing on this Charizard just don't, I don't know, doesn't look entirely right. But I'm also no expert. Like, some holo patterns are different. All right, so here's the one that I know for fact is real. Verified it with a ton of people in the hobby. Verified it myself. Here's our thick stamp. I do believe the thick stamp to be real. I don't think that the holo is too busy at all. I don't think that this is too shiny. The holo pattern is pretty much standard on this. It doesn't, I wish there's a light that I could show it to you guys in. I'm trying to show you. The holo pattern on this is very subtle. It's very subtle, how it should be. Okay? Now, what's interesting about the holo pattern on that is that this one is not subtle at all. And so now I'm going to have to really, really get into the PSA grading slabs of each of these so that I can compare, because this one's definitely legit. I'm going to compare with this one and check it out. Something doesn't look right there. How red that is, that does not look right. I don't think I'm seeing something. That holo does not look right. That looks really, really red. That something does not look right there. But this one does it too, actually. This one's really red too. In the right light, this one actually looks like that too. See, I'm no expert on first editions, so let's just put them together. This guy who's watching, who sold me the cards, probably like, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Is there a big difference? I don't know. Yeah, and it could be lighting. It could be lighting. they look like if I put this one, oh, now I'm dropping Charizards everywhere. If I put this one closer and put this one further back, I'm fudging this up so bad. I don't know. Like the actual reddish hue background does. I think I agree with him. They are legit. So he says both are legit. Now that's just one person. I want to get everybody on board saying, okay, we're all verifying that this is legit. The backs do look the same. Yeah, two to compare is definitely a luxury Funk Field. Now I can't get all of the chat because I'm also paying attention to these cards, but we're all here. We're all trying to figure this out and take a look at these. So as I look at each of these, the backs, as we look at them more, it's like, okay, the holo looks legit. The holo looks legit, or it's a very good replica. The next thing that I want to look at though is the holo pattern, and I have seen people in auctions that I'd basically message the seller and I'd be like, yo, this is definitely fake. There's no way this holo pattern is right. And they messaged me back with like a whole, like they served me. They were like, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been looking at first edition Charizards for 20 years. When it's a fake the complete card is too shiny. Well, Pokédome, that's a generalization. I mean, I'd like to think that, but yes, as Poetry for Some just said, it's very hard to tell in this live. You know, obviously I can't just, I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't click and focus in the way I can if I'm doing a standard video. But one thing that's interesting to me that somebody said to me when I called out their card when they were selling it on eBay, they said holo patterns vary in these cards. Some are made with different print patterns. I've studied print patterns for years. So this one is very pronounced. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like the stars and this one, let me get it as close as I can get. The stars are very pronounced. Like, oh, man, it is hard to tell on a live. Like it really does, everything does look legit. But the difference between this one and this one, the main difference between these two are the holo patterns. This one has a very subtle holo pattern. The one that we've already kind of legit checked. This one has a very subtle, very, very subtle holo pattern. Now, granted, it's in a sleeve, it's in a case. It's going to be harder to make out these holo patterns. But this one, the one that I just got in the mail, you see how shiny that is. Not just shiny. You see the stars on that. Like, this isn't, for those of y'all that are like, congrats, there's no congrats yet. I don't know if this card is legit. This is a live to be interactive with you guys, to actually talk about this card, whether it's legit or not. And thankfully, I do have a real one to compare with that I know for a fact is real. If I got this card first, I would have had such a hard time telling if it was real or not. I really would. The holo pattern is just very, very bright on this card. The stars on this one in particular are very bright. They're very bright. I feel like I can't accurately tell with this one. But even this one, like everything, honestly, for the most part, does look like it lines up. It looks like this one just has a slightly, like maybe the owner of this one polished this one up or put some kind of like soap or something on this one and it makes it. What's up, Daniel? So we're going over this one that I just got in the mail. This is the second first edition Charizard that I got in the mail. This one we've already verified. And I know they look similar, but they're actually, like we verified that the backs have the same kind of holo hue in the light, which is good. That's a very good thing. But we're looking at the holo pattern on it right now, and I'm just giving you guys as much as I can see in terms of angles and lighting. And I don't know, it's very bright. So one part of me is like, okay, Orion, they printed these on sheets. All of the holos were different. They did not use the exact same pattern for every one of these, I'm sure. Now, there might be someone out there who can say, no, Orion, they did use the same holo pattern on every single one of these. Let's see. You know, oh man. It's so freaking hard. It's so hard because there's definitely stuff on this one that definitely I can't find on this other one. Like, I can't find at all on this other one. And if I can't find a certain print pattern on the one that I know is legit, then it's going to be pretty hard for anybody who just popped in. We're trying to figure out if this is legit. They're both real. Ancedrus. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. So you think it's completely normal that this has a very shiny multi-star pattern and that all patterns are different. Grandpa Joe, Dad, what up, what up? There are scammers cracking slabs. Poetry is right. And this is I made a video way far back that was like, don't buy first edition Charizards from this seller. Mikey, yo, what up? We are comparing the one that is 100% legit. I'm so glad this was the first one I got because I was skeptical, but I didn't worry too much. So this is the one we've already verified on here. I paid $4K for both of these. I just put in bids. I had a bidder going against me on this one. It went to like 4,100 or 4,200. This one, nobody else bid on, which is kind of weird to me, but I also know the vintage market's coming down, so that doesn't mean I think people thought it was fake. I'm sure newbie collectors get like confused with the thick versus thin stamp. Like if you were a new collector, you would, what up, David? If you were a new collector, you would see this stamp and be like, yo, that doesn't look like a first edition stamp if you saw this one first, because this is the larger, the thick stamp. Don't buy slabs from foreign sellers, period. Well, it wasn't bought from a foreign seller. I guess what you're saying is like sellers that I don't know well. It wasn't bought overseas. Damn, that's going to be rare to find 10 or 20 years from now. Absolutely. But again, guys, main point of this video is to get as much conviction here that this thing is fully legit. In the light, the back holo pattern, the back holo looks fine. The color of this card itself looks fine. From right here, like this card, even looking at it up close, looks legit, looks real, but I just don't know. So, first off, you guys bear with me. What is your concern with it? What is your concern with it? My concern is that the stars on this one are just too pronounced. This pattern, if someone can chime in, the second one is less sun faded. Calvin B. Interesting. The second one is less sun faded. Now that's honestly not a terrible answer. That might explain why the holo pattern on this one is so much more light. Like honestly, this one, despite this one having scratches, it does look way shinier. Like, not shinier, that's the wrong word. The holo pattern just looks way more pronounced on this one. They both have a sleeve, they're both in a slab, so that affects a little bit of the visibility. But this camera is pretty good, and I wanted to show you guys, I don't know if I can get one from the other angle. I want to show you guys everything on this guy. I know that it's hard from the live, but I wanted to enjoy verifying this with you guys. And I'm looking at these stars, and they're very pronounced. Does the slab have PSA logo on the plastic lower right and the 21 in the lower left? That could probably be faked too, but I will check. Now is the part where I check both against my real and legit slab. Okay, so right off the bat, slab looks legit. Everything in the PSA area looks legit. Obviously, most of you would say if the card scans in, the card's legit. Now, I was skeptical about the other one, even though it is legit. So yeah, I think it's only fair that I'm going to be skeptical about both. If it is indeed real, I do want to say right now that I love. If it is real and someone can verify it for sure, I love that this one has this one big star on it. My other one does not have a big star like that, and that does worry me. That does stress me out. But it could be that it's just a slightly different holo pattern, and the star is more pronounced on this one. And if that's the case, it really is a beautiful card. I'm just like, this is decadent. Like, this holo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 really pronounced stars, where my other one is really a lot less noticeable. Now, it does have edge wear that is extremely typical. Just a random question. Does the Pokemon cards have a scanner app like the Power Rangers action card game? Well, the Pokemon card game, you know, as far as PSA slabs, these can be scanned in. But hold on here a minute, because I'm going to grab my Shadowless Charizard. Is it right over here? No. I'm going to grab my Shadowless Charizard because I want to see if my Shadowless Charizard has a similar star on there, star pattern. You know, because if it does, then, you know, I'm going to stop thinking about whether it's legit or not, and I'm going to accept it. But I want to be sure, and these things take time. Okay. In fact, I forgot I had my Beckett Shadowless Charizard, and I had my PSA 6 Shadowless Charizard. So we'll have a couple of these to compare with and look at the stars. Alright, right off the bat, there's a really big star on my Beckett one. Okay, so yeah, there's just different holo patterns, because, see if you guys can see this. I'm trying to show it as best as I can. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to show it on here. But right up here, there's a really big star on my Beckett. And you know, now I am kind of thinking, yeah, Ryan, basically sun fading will destroy the quality of those stars. It's fine, you're just flexing. Grandpa Joe, I wish I could say that I'm just flexing. No, I am extremely skeptical and anxious and stressed out. $4,000 for a card, you can't just be like, oh yeah, this is real, let's go. No, I'm the most skeptical collector there is. Lots of graded Charizard today. This is true. Okay, so both my 6 and maybe this one's star will show better, but my 6 does have a similar So Much Heat. My Shadowless non-first edition 6 does have a really big star. You see that one right there? Y'all are probably going to be able to see that pretty easily. That one's a big, shiny-ass star. So now I'm thinking, okay, Orion, they have different holo patterns. Was it authenticated after you bought it on eBay? Yes, it was authenticated by eBay. Obviously, it was authenticated by PSA. But I don't care if either of them authenticated it. I am authenticating it myself, checking out everything, seeing how it compares to my other ones. And yeah, my Shadowless Charizard has the same very similar designs. I'm checking over everything though. Wow. Okay. Well, damn. Really thought I would find something, but I think all of my Charizard cards though are more faded than this one. It's just so shiny, guys. It's so freaking shiny. I do think it's real though. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but this one has this regular Shadowless has some really shiny big stars. With the lighting, it's just not showing it the way I wish it was. Let's see if I can get it closer to you guys. It's not showing it the way that I wish it was. Dang it, why won't this freaking camera pick it up? There you go. You see the big star on my Shadowless? Wife and daughter are in the living room. So there's a big star on the Shadowless right there. And this is definitely a legit Shadowless Charizard. Those are much harder to fake. But this whole stream I've been talking about this first edition, which is, for those of you that just popped into the stream, I have 2 first edition Charizards now. And I'm trying to verify, even though, yes, eBay authenticated this one too. It came with the whole eBay thing, and it got authenticated by PSA. I don't care if these other entities authenticated my cards. That's not, like, I don't believe, even if somebody else authenticates it, I want to know for myself, looking at the card, you know, and learning from this card. But what I think I'm learning here is that this is a real card. I don't want to be biased just because I bought a card. You know, I would hope that you guys would respect that about me, that just because I buy something, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a legit whatever, you know, like, no, like, let's decide for ourselves, is this legit? Does it look good? Does everything check out? You can fake PSA slabs. There's been re-slabbing done. Rattle and me have talked about this a lot. Re-slabbing has happened a lot lately. Fake first edition stamp Charizards has happened a lot lately. Basically, this would be a real shadowless Charizard with a fake first edition stamp. Even though I don't believe that's the case, that is not the case here. The point I'm trying to make is that holo legit on this other first edition stamp that I got? Look how shiny that is. And from what people are saying here, the consensus seems to be that yes, Orion, maybe that card did not get sun faded badly. And that's why the holo is so much more pronounced on this one than it is on this one. Let's see if I can get this one to shine the way that one did. Well, I can't. But what I can tell you is that this card, there it is. This card does not have nearly as shiny of a holo pattern as the other Charizard does. I don't know if I can get it, if I shine it up to this light, if it'll show differently. But I'm just trying to get the angles to show you guys everything. That's all I'm trying to do here, to get you to kind of, to get you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from, and why I'm so skeptical of why the first one that I got looks like it's just got a really chill holo, and then this one's like bam, wham. I'm all over the place. I'm in your face. My stars are super shiny. But I would like to think this one's real. I do think if you pulled this card out of the pack, brand new, it would probably shine similar to this. Like, this does look legit to me. I've never seen a card. I've never seen a card of this caliber, like, so shiny. It's just, like, it's pretty crazy. Especially because, like, the card has, like, dust and dirt on it and, like, scratches that y'all probably can't see. But there's lighter scratches that go through the holo on each side, unlike the other one. So I'm surprised that it wouldn't have sun fading, but it had, I guess, used play when whoever had it was younger. But yeah, the holo pattern, it really pops off, guys. Like, it really pops off. So, and no, the camera is not making it look more crazy than it is. This is really how shiny this card is in the right lighting. Okay, now I'm going to get to the comments. I will say, it is definitely a flex in some respects, you know, to have two shadowless Zards and two first editions. They all look beautiful, and now I have 4 examples that I can learn from. And, you know, the more I look at these other ones, I'm like, yeah, Ryan, like, that one just isn't as faded as your other examples. Yeah, so my PSA 6, which is the highest grade of all these, because these are all 5s except for my PSA 6. My PSA 6 holo does kind of give off that same shininess. So I'm thinking, and this is, I hope, educational for you guys, and not you guys thinking that I'm, like, wasting anybody's time talking about the comparison of this first edition Charizard to the first one I bought and seeing if there's any difference, making sure that everything checks out with that holo. But it really is, my PSA 6 has a shiny holo like this one. So I'm thinking it's not like the card is fake. It's just that it's a really shiny holo. With that, I think we can celebrate. As more people get in here, I will be asking people again. But for now, let's check out these comments. Because I have a long way to go through all these. What's up, nerds? I hope everything works out. Nice. I like the thin stamp better. Yeah, Ani Life, the holo is not too shiny. Funkified, whoa, yeah, there's a difference. Lighting, said Poetry, Warriors, the same. Ani Life, yeah, maybe because of the light. Pokédome, they're legit. Funkified, at least you got 2 to compare. That's a luxury. Well, technically, because I have 2 more shadowless, I have 3 others to compare with. Poetry, they look almost identical. I would have to agree. Neck and neck, they don't seem to have any difference other than the holo pattern. But the holo pattern's a big deal. Pokédome, when it's fake, the complete card is too shiny. Poetry for some, hard to tell on a live. Absolutely. Funkified, back to work. I'll watch the rest of the stream later. I appreciate you for at least kind of briefing me why you had to go. I hate to see people come and go. Calvin B, the card looks sick. Congrats on another first edition Zard. Yeah, Calvin, I'm about 60% confident here that this other first edition is the real deal. I'm going to keep showing it for anybody who's popping into the live. Now, we're talking about this first edition Zard. Everything seems to check out on this card, but my only suspicion is because it's such a shiny holo pattern, and I think it's normal. You know, the background holo pattern looks very legit. It's very subtle. It looks very legit. But those big stars just, man, they really pop off. So, yeah, I guess this card was a card that did not see a lot of sunlight. And that's why it looks so fresh. But, like, think about it. If a fake card comes right off the press, it's also going to have a holo that's very shiny. No matter how much they scratch it up or try and make it look older. You know, these are the things that I think about and theorize about. Do you think the first one you got is more sun faded compared to the second one? Now that is the most potential thing that I'm thinking. I thought authenticity guarantee will make sure it's legit. That's the idea, that eBay authenticity will make sure the card is legit, but we just don't know. And Cedrus, they're both real. Grandpa, Dad, there's some scammers cracking slabs and resealing. Mikey, hello. How much did you pay for the big one? Hello, Ryan, David, Demore. Also, if you guys didn't see the community post, and you didn't see, and you haven't checked my bio recently, I now have a P.O. box. If you want to send anything, if you want to send a letter, go for it. I have the P.O. box now in the channel bio, so you will be able to reach me that way. Whether you have questions, whether you want to show something, whether you want to send me cards or gifts or whatever. Don't buy slabs from foreign sellers, period. Daniel Andrassi, damn, that's going to be a rare find 10, 20 years. Grandpa, what's your concern? Yeah, we talked about that. Is this the second one? Is the second one less sun faded? Does the slab have PSA logo in the 21? And I will look over that real quick. Wait, holy crap. Wait a minute. Where's that 21? Where is that 20? Okay, there's the 21. Okay, there's the 21. For a second, I was like, yo, I'm having a tough time finding that 21. I'm having a tough time finding it. And I'm comparing with my other real one. Looks legit. PSA slab. Everything looks legit. Backs look. Everything looks legit. Yeah, you got to be real careful. You got to be real careful about these kind of caliber cards these days, because everything can look legit. You know, and the grading company, think about it. Objectively, it's a dude grading your card. It might slip past them. It might slip past them. It's not going to ruin their day. Ruin somebody else's day. Besides, most of these grading companies don't really even answer to their flaws or when they fail something or when they screw up. Rattle has tried reaching out to these companies before. They pretty much, everything stays like radio silence if something screws up. So it's really still up to the buyer to make sure what you're getting is fully legit. Like, why, and why would it be an issue to the seller? As long as I'm sending back the exact card that they gave me, why would it be an issue to the seller? Now, I do believe that this is real. It's a big deal. It's a really big purchase, and I'm going to be analytic about the whole thing. I'm surprised this card got a 5, but I guess 5 was fair. Okay, let's go up here. On the plastic poetry, from what I've read, there can be more or less stars in the holo pattern, kind of like how some of the holo patterns have swirls and some do not. Yeah, especially like base 2, and like Gym Heroes and Rocket. Like, I guess if the swirls are going to be in a different place, maybe the stars are going to be in a different place. Gosh, I'm just looking and comparing with my other ones. This one has like so many stars, and maybe that's just something dope that I should be happy about, but it makes me nervous how many stars this thing has. And honestly, I think I'll look back and be like, dude, you were so stressed out over a card that just had a dope number of stars. Like, I should be happy the holo pattern looks so good on this card. And I think, you know, that's the hype part of the video. When I'm fully convinced and I'm like looking at this and I'm like, wow, I have like one of the sickest Charizard cards I'll probably ever see or get. But that's for me to decide and figure out. And I have a way that I analyze things and look at them, and it might be different from everybody else, but it's also the thing that I'm paying for and the money I'm spending. RMG, hey buddy, nice meeting you. You hope the Ape Audio night went great. Oh, what's up? So I got people that have met me from the bar, subscribe to the channel. What's up? So right now, just to get you on track, we are going over this first edition holo. A lot of people in the chat seem to say like, dude, I feel like the vibe in this chat is like, dude, you're stressing out. The card is real. It's a lot of stars in the holo pattern, but I do think that the card is real now. As I'm looking at my other ones, I'm like, okay, the shininess is kind of the same in the right lighting, but this one definitely just appears to have more of those stars present. I don't know if there's anybody who's an expert on first edition cards and like whether, and you know, I have other first edition holos that I can look at too that I might bring into the equation just to look at those cards and look at the holo patterns. And you know what? I think that's what's going to do kind of fully solve this. Okay, now we've got a ton of comments to get to. Maybe it's a later print run than the first. Calvin B, good chat. Maybe it's a later print run than the first. That is definitely likely. When you bought it, did it get routed to California to be authenticated? Yeah, we already talked about that. Abyss, what up? Long Silver Investor, it looks real. It's fine, you're just flexing. A lot of graded Charizard today. Can't you just take it out of the slab? David Demore, can't I just take it out of the slab? That is hilarious, dude. What a troll. The reason I think that would be trolling me is because, like, no, I don't want to take a card of this caliber out of the slab. Unless I was making a binder, then it might make sense, but even then, that'd be so stressful for me. So much heat, Mikey. Where's your wife and daughter? Yeah, they're in the living room right now. Market Scraper, ooh. I have some Grandpa Joe, I have some badly sun-faded holos from Neo. It really doesn't impact the holo as much. In fact, the holo becomes more pronounced. Okay, so that's not a factor either. And I don't think it's a factor because looking at these in the right lighting now, the holo looks exactly the same on both of them. It's just the pattern. And I think it's time for me to stop stressing out so much. Even the centering is slightly off, which is good because a fake card is probably going to have perfect centering. It's a little more organic to not have the centering right. Oni Life, yup. Alex Johnson, how are you feeling about collecting Scarlet and Violet? Some of the websites like Game Nerds have booster boxes for around 105. I don't know how they could have booster boxes for 105. I know that I'm excited for Scarlet and Violet, but really I want to focus on buying as much Sword and Shield as I can before it's too late. But I don't know how they're doing 105 when the MSRP at Pokemon is 165. Grandpa Joe, the sun fade would affect the Charizard and the frame, but not the holo. Okay, that is astute information. I appreciate that. Now we're getting somewhere. So less sun faded, in my opinion. Pokédome chat. Gotta go. Time to feed the kids. Peace out, Pokédome. Maker Squirtle, how much did you pay for each slab? About $4 grand. What up? This is great for newer people to go back and look at in the future. Yeah, exactly. Like I know there are Charizard comparison videos, but like I feel like there hasn't been anything like this with like just an average collector. And then yes, I do consider myself the average collector. I just went a little crazy the past 2 years. But like we've got 4 Charizards, we're kind of comparing them. We're looking at different holo patterns. We're looking at different set styles. We're compared my shadowless holo pattern, which is really kind of hard to see. I don't know if it's because it has a card sleeve inside of the Beckett slab. Freaking catch it, camera. I don't know why my camera's not catching it well. But we have like this one to compare to. We've got this other shadowless one to compare to, where the stars actually are a little more pronounced on this one, which makes me feel a little bit better. I know that I'm just wigging out, but, you know, I want to be sure of myself. Okay, go up here. Okay, this is great for newer people. Grandpa Joe, if we had a Discord, you could take all sorts of pictures and we could all have a discussion about it. Grandpa Joe, this is a good point. And I will get on that. Today, what I got done was I got the P.O. box figured out. Probably tonight I will figure out the Discord so that we can have those kind of discussions and all go back and forth about it. But the live was more, I just wanted to do things spur of the moment and get some confidence, in the moment, because I do have a responsibility to give a good feedback to this seller if they did me right. And, I got sold a legitimate card. And for the most part, I think that's what they're going to get. I'm pretty confident about this card. I just wanted to see what people thought. Jacob Tabor, what do you think the best booster box is to buy? Evolving Skies, and somebody just responded to that as well. Sid, Jacob Tabor, thanks, no problem. Brilliant Stars would be a great inversion too. I think Silver Tempest is great too. Crown Zenith, obviously, I think is one of the pinnacle sets that's come out. The legendary dogs from there are great. RMG, great seeing you in the chat. RB, didn't realize how expensive PO boxes were. Wow, yeah, it was. This PO box was $194, and that was cheaper. UPS is doing $240 or $250, and they're about to go up to $300. So my local UPS homie told me that. Ani Life, I think Chilling Reign and Battle Style, since those are cheaper, and Chilling Reign have special art races that might get more expensive in the future. I think all the sets are really great. These are just the ones, just because Brilliant Stars has the Charizard, Evolving, Umbreon, Silver, Lugia. Oni Life, Art Rares, Gamer Avengers. Hello, what up, Gamer Avengers? Welcome to the chat. Maker Squirtle, I think you're good, dog. I think I'm good too. Gamer Avengers, how are you today? I appreciate me. Everything has to go fine. So that's the only thing. Like, other than that, I'm straight. I have a great life. I have a healthy kid. My wife is amazing. I have a good life. I can't complain. I just when stuff's happening to your parents, health wise, and they've had a great life. They've been having a great life, but we've got a long way to go. I can't run the business without my mom and dad. I need them. And that's the smallest thing. I don't even care about the business. I just want them to come out of this kidney transplant, be okay. You have to take a ton of medicine after a kidney transplant. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about. They're going to be on tons of meds all the time. Alex Johnson, price so far below MSRP for Scarlet and Violet makes it a lower risk hold. Just a heads up, they'll have more boxes for sale tomorrow morning. Already bought a few. You'll have to educate me on that, because as far as I'm concerned, Scarlet and Violet's going to be 165. Silver Tempest, thanks for your recommendation, Orion. Is Zard your favorite Pokemon, Grandpa Joe? Absolutely, hands down. Charizard. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Pikachu is really one of my favorite Pokemon. I absolutely love Pikachu. Not only is he the mascot for Pokemon, but like Shadowless First Edition Pikachu is sick. And with a Shadowless First Edition Pikachu, I'm going to worry way less about getting a fake card, because Zard is like the scammer's target card, Poetry, Chilling Reign could be a sleeper set. I absolutely agree. The Blaziken Alt Art and Chilling Reign is sick. Gamer Avengers, I hope their kidney transplant goes good. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's going to go good. Has to go good. Really enjoy Fusion Strike. The box and art and color is sick. Yeah, again, I don't know if it was you said that before, but I love the pink and that art set. Hold on, let me take off my freaking... How do I get this thing off of me? How did I put this thing on? Usually I have it on my waist, but it was sitting there. All right. Got that off. Got to drink my coffee. And then I'm going to grab 2 or 3 more holos for my first edition base set so that I can... Cloyster's my favorite Pokemon. Tabor. That's sick, dude. Whenever someone has a Pokemon that we're not always, thinking of... appreciate you. I like the mug, too. Whenever we have Pokemon that we're not always thinking of, like that most people wouldn't pick, I think that's awesome. Cloyster is awesome. Cloyster is a spiked, like, shielded shell. You know, he almost reminds me of like Ghastly. Just the colors. I think Cloyster is a sick Pokemon. Good pick. Let's see. Man, this coffee's amazing. Fusion Strike has a Pikachu Rainbow, right? I think that's Vivid Voltage, but it could be Fusion Strike. Okay, guys, for anybody new to the chat, we are comparing my first had the mug. It's insane. I like it. Thank you. We are comparing my first edition Charizard, which is for sure real. And again, this is like the 50th time I've compared these, but we've got that one for anybody that's just popped in here. And then we're comparing it to this other one that everything checks out except to me for the fact that there are all these stars on this one and they're really, really shiny. So what I'm proposing to do is I'm going to grab my Venusaur, my Blastoise, maybe Raichu, maybe a couple others, and I'm going to try and compare the different holo patterns, and I'm going to show you guys all the holo patterns if we have to go to that length, so that we can all be chill, so that I can be chill and be like, all right, it's just the holo pattern is different from my other one. All right, here we come. All right, I'm grabbing all the first edition holos. And you know what? It's going to be fun, so just bear with me. Wow, there's really a lot of holos. Holy crap. Yeah. What, the 16 holos? All right. So, okay, one more time before we look at all the other holos that I have in first edition base set and we compare the holo pattern so that we know the only thing left that I'm stressed out about this card is the holo pattern, and it's just there's so many stars. So we're comparing our first edition Charizard. We've already compared it with the other first edition Charizard. For anybody new to the chat, this one has a little bit more of a faint holo pattern, but that's not all we're going to do. We're going to check it against all the other cards and look at their holo patterns and see what we see. So for Blastoise first edition, it looks like he's just got kind of one big star on there. It looks like in this corner he's got one big star. The rest of the holo is fairly subtle. I'm going to look at it. Yeah, to me, same thing. It's okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. This one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So we got 4 stars on this Blastoise. We've got 2 on this side. You guys might not be able to make them all out, but there's 4 on this card total. So I'm gonna put this down, get this razor blade out of here. That's scary. Okay. All right, now we're looking at the Raichu. Now this Raichu is a 7. So, and the holo is very busy. I think this one is pretty much the proof that you can have a very busy holo pattern. Because guys, this holo pattern is very busy. Check this out. Boom, look at this Raichu, first edition. It's got so many stars. So you know what? There it is, guys. This is the convincing factor for me. I just wanted to see if there was other holo patterns that were as busy. So I'm sorry if anybody feels like their time was wasted, but I was trying to compare my other holo patterns and get a feel for why there were so many stars on this Charizard. But my Raichu is a great example. Gotta go. See you next time. Peace out, David. Thank you for coming in chat. Thank you for letting me know that you're heading out. I appreciate that. That's all I ask. So wow, we've got a lot of stars on this Raichu, and that pretty much that debunks pretty much what we needed to debunk. Other than that, I can look at the thin stamps and I can look at the comparison of this Charizard to check. So, Sid, I have a question in mind. What do you think about the secret gold Pikachu VMAX from Lost Origin? Would be powerful in the future. Powerful? I don't know. In terms of gameplay, I don't know. In terms of investing, I don't know if any of those gold cards are really going to hold out in the end. I know that, like, for sure, Crown Zenith gold cards are probably, like, all those legendaries are probably going to hold out really well. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm such a classic holo guy, and even the alternate arts was hard for me to get behind at first, but I'm on it now. I like the alternate arts. I don't know about all the other cards. The rainbows are pretty cool. I kind of really like the rainbows. The gold cards I still kind of got to get behind. But I'm going to count this Raichu real quick. I want to see how many stars are on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stars. 8 holo foil stars on this Raichu. So now when I'm comparing the Raichu to our first edition Charizard, when I'm comparing to the first edition Charizard, it doesn't look too busy anymore. Now it seems pretty standard. We had 8 stars on him. And how many we got on this Charizard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 on this Charizard. That one in particular is really big. I'm going to compare it to this Raichu. Dang it, show me the dang. Yeah, there's one on this Raichu that's really big too. So now I'm completely convinced, guys. But we're going to keep going since I've already got all the base set holo slabs here. And I think it's just a fun little video. So Venusaur doesn't look all that busy. And honestly, I wish Venusaur got a little bit more love. It feels like we've just forgotten about Venusaur. And it really, it gets on my nerves because I played Charizard in the game. I played Charmander, but I also played Squirtle. I also played Venusaur or Bulbasaur. You're kind of not playing the Game Boy games right if you don't at least try each game with a different starter and play it over again. So the Venusaur has 1, 2, and the Venusaur is a big print. It's a big artwork, so it really takes up most of the holo. Rainbow Rares are going to be away, so that could be a good fit for investing. Yeah, anything, as Poetry for some just said, anything that's kind of going out of print, out of the style, those are things that could go up. So maybe, I don't know if the gold rares I think are going to stay. Congrats, bro. Thank you, Mike. I am definitely happy. Looking at the Raichu right next to the Charizard, I'm like, bro, those print patterns are both really shiny. So now I have no doubt in my mind. I just need to look at I need to look at a thin stamp first edition card to compare to the thin stamp on this Charizard. And then I can say, finally, without a doubt, whew, we got 2 first edition Charizards come in. And honestly, it'll make buying in the future so much more, like, just less stressful. When you never had one of these cards before, it's extremely stressful. I don't care who you are. And I'm lucky that I had all these other first edition cards to compare with. Now I'm so glad I bought all of these first before buying the most expensive card. Some people would argue you should buy the most expensive card. See you in your next stream. Hope your day will go well. Thank you, Game Avengers. I appreciate it. But yeah, since the Venusaur is such a big artwork, we only see 3 stars in this Venusaur. So that's that for Venusaur. Going into the next one, we got Life Sun and Moon Rainbow cards will increase soon, so I grabbed some at the moment. I think that rainbow cards look beautiful. I literally bought a Rainbow Salamence from Darkness Ablaze because I was like, that card looks sick. Okay, so the Alakazam, really beautiful pattern on this one. We've got 1 right above his head. That looks really cool, actually. One holo star right above his head. And then, let's see. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. So it seems like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can have anywhere in that range for the star pattern. I'm trying to get it close so you guys can see the star pattern on this. I know that's hard to see. You see that one right above his head? There's a holo pattern right above the first edition Alakazam's head. For anybody that just popped in here, Vandella, you just popped in here. I like the soft pastel color of rainbows, but I hate the super saturated bright rainbow cards. Alex, you just spent 100 on clearance and Pokemon Go tins. Would you crack all 40 packs and try to find some rare cards to grade or keep them all sealed? Grade or keep them all sealed? I would keep everything sealed. I try to keep everything sealed. I would rather show you stuff that I'm collecting. For me personally, I would rather show you stuff that I'm collecting than do openings. I'm not the opening guy. That's just not who I am. And if there's a day where I start opening a ton of product, then heck yeah, like let's do it. If I can afford to, if the YouTube is bringing in the revenue for it, for sure. But other than that, I'd rather just kind of do show and tell of my collection, do some mail days. We will open stuff for every single milestone. Mew, Mewtwo, Tag Team Rainbow, my fave. That is a pretty cool card. I'm not gonna lie, that is a pretty cool card. But yeah, so this Alakazam is pretty busy as well, but it only has 4 stars. The more I'm looking at all these other first edition holos to compare with the Charizard, I'm noticing that most of them are just as busy as the Charizard. Let's look at this guy. Oh, wow. And the Hitmonchan is definitely, the Hitmonchan has a lot, and I think it's because it's a small drawing, so there's more space for the actual holo. Look how busy that holo is in comparison. Very busy. Wow. So how many stars we got on this guy? And Hitmonchan is one of my favorites. I love Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is such an underrated card. And there's so many from base set going for like $5 to $10. Honestly, like this is the type of card that like in the future I would much rather buy like a crap ton of WotC base unlimited cards that are holos for cheap now and see what happens with them in 20 years than buying a bunch of sealed product. Even though I'm probably more confident that the sealed product that's modern right now is the better long-term investment. Let's see, how many stars? Wow, Hitmonchan has a ton of stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like maybe 9, 10. It looks like there's 10 holo stars on Hitmonchan. So I think we can confirm that the holo pattern really depends. This is another Alakazam I have, but it was a 4, and I wanted to upgrade it. I just haven't sold it yet. And he doesn't look too busy. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's actually seven stars on this guy. Yeah, so for the most part, I'm learning that it's just different for everybody. We got Gyarados coming up here. I love Gyarados. Gyarados is a really, really cool card. Just this serpent dragon of the ocean. Really, really cool. Look at the star comparison on the Gyarados. Gyarados. This card brings back all the memories. I really, really need these Shining Gyarados. I want that card so bad. I actually had that card in my binder as a kid, and so it broke my heart not being able to find that stuff. And I've told you guys this before, but when I couldn't find my childhood binder of cards, that lack of closure drove me crazy. Drove me crazy. No, it drove me crazy. Anyways, for anybody who just popped in, we are comparing the holo patterns to get a better idea of whether this first edition Charizard is real or not. So my concern was the holo pattern was really busy. We had a lot of stars here. But after going through my own personal completed master set first edition base set, I'm learning that a lot of these cards actually have a lot of stars in them. Most of my Charizards just don't. They're very faded. Most of them are faded. So I'm learning, looking at these other less faded, higher grade cards, that they look better. I think this one's a 5. Yeah, this one's a 5, but honestly, it looks very clean. There's like no scratches on this thing. I think it's Edgeware that it got a 5 on. And let's see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got about 7 visible stars that are in the frame. But other than that, you can see a little bit of shine on that. Yeah, that might be the best angle. All right, moving forward, we got Mewtwo. Okay, we've got Mewtwo. These are really beautiful in first edition. These are definitely hard to get to. This is one of the harder cards for me to get in first edition. The holo pattern off first glance does look pretty busy too. I think it's these cards that have less holo taken up that actually are a lot busier. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is one big one on its like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Looks like this one has 2 really big stars and 11 holo stars total. So I'm really learning. This video is just as informative to me as it is to you guys, because I really haven't looked at these in a while. It's probably been a couple months since I actually really looked at these, let alone had them on camera. This is a 4, but like, damn, this is a clean 4. And it's really shiny still. Look at the one above its leg. Look at that star. It's huge. It's very reminiscent of what I was worried about, like being too shiny. And the one back here is really shiny too. This definitely confirms that you can have very busy holos and you can have shiny. So now I'm kind of excited because like that means that this Charizard actually just has a really great holo pattern. Like, this is one of the better holo patterns you could probably get on a card like this. Like, and that matters. You know, you're buying a high caliber card. You want the holo pattern to really pop off. And as I'm looking at all these first editions as they're laid on the table, all of them kind of pop off similarly. I don't know why my other Charizards it was harder to find a pattern like that. But moving forward, we got the Nidoking. Oh man, this one's beautiful. Despite being a really big artwork, it's beautiful. And you can see that it's fairly busy too. Let's see. Let's see. Can't get this one to pop off. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting this card to pop off. What the heck? All right, guys. Well, I guess it is what it is. I can't get this card to show off the way I had hoped to. And I'm a huge Nidoking fan, despite the fact that we can't get this holo to pop off on camera the way I want. Wait, can we see? You guys can see a little bit of diamonds dancing there. I really like Nidoking. He's really fantastic. He looks awesome with that purple. Okay, we got one. We got one that's visible. Yeah, this one is very busy, but the stars aren't very shiny. So we really just have like one main star that shows, maybe two. So here's a perfect example. This Nidoking is definitely legit, but it only has one star that shows, and it's over. Where is that star? I can't. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. That's like the only one that I can actually make out on this one. So this is probably the least busy looking card that I have. As I lay it down, I can see one, two. Yeah, even if I lay it down, I only see two stars really visibly. All the other ones are in the borders or behind the card artwork. So that just goes to show right there again that some holos are going to have that lower star pattern. I really like, even if you guys are bored in this stream, I'm sorry, but this could be really informative to somebody wanting to build a first edition collection. I think I'm keeping up with the chat too. I don't know. Talking about booster boxes, some argue that double sleeved card and put it in the binder is better for the card in the slab. That could be true. In the slab, it can still get damaged. More of Hitmonlee guy myself. Poetry. Justin, I was just watching your Crown Zenith video. I didn't realize you were live. Yeah, cards with some type of scratching or a film on them for any reason literally won't show the stars nearly as much. Yeah, because you've got a little bit of film on there. But yeah, if you just popped in, this whole video I've been talking about this Charizard, and now that I'm looking at my whole base set completed, I'm like, yeah, some of these have a couple stars and some of them have like 10. Especially the Raichu because it takes up so little space. Do you think it's worth collecting decks? Jacob Tabor, I do. I have a huge theme deck collection. I have a big one that's sealed that's behind me. I have my display stuff up there. I do believe in collecting the theme decks, although I might not have the most. I definitely consider myself a theme deck collector, and I do have quite a lot of them. All right, so we're going to go into this Chansey. We got one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's busy. Takes up a lot of space, but boom. Y'all can see that perfectly clear. The Chansey is not hiding anything. We've got 7 stars, 7 of the holo pattern stars on this Chansey. And yeah. Yeah, so again, another really busy card. This one in particular is really hard to get in a high grade. I was shocked at how expensive this card was for me just to get it in a 5. And this one does have the thin stamp, just like our Charizard. So now I have a thin stamp that I can compare to our Charizard card. And also for you guys to directly compare and get it as close as possible. Stamps look legit, don't they? Stamps look legit. We'll get the Charizard in front. We'll get the Chansey in the back. There it is. There it is. And now I am going to look at it Holo patterns look pretty legit. Yeah, everything looks like it checks out. Everything looks like it checks out there. All right, so we got our Chansey. We got more. We got looks like what 4? Oh, we've got quite a few more of the base set first edition to look at. Here's okay. Hold on. Whenever I see such a clean looking low grades, it kind of puts me off sending mine off. I'll be there hoping for a 10 and end up getting a 4. Yeah, seriously. Like, well, and that's what's crazy to me. I'm fine to buy these lower graded cards because I'm like, yo, I'm getting such a deal on these, and they look great in the fronts. The backs, now I did not show the backs of these cards. The backs do have edge wear, so keep that in mind. Yeah, do you think it's worth collecting decks? Show a close-up of the Zard front and back. Also, don't you have 2 now? If so, grab them both, bro. Yeah, so Justin, or was that Jordan? Yeah, Justin. I've been doing that this whole video. For anybody that's been in the chat the whole time, they know that I've been comparing the 2 Zards side by side. No one can find anything that's different about them. I think we're confident on that. So now I'm going into the holo pattern, which I've already debunked. The holo pattern is different on all these first edition base set cards. And some of them are more busy, some of them are less busy, some of them have more stars, some of them have less stars. So really, it's not the holo pattern, but I can definitely, right now, before I go over the Clefairy holo pattern, I will show you, again, these first edition Charizards side by side. This one we already verified. It's a thick stamp. It's a thick stamp. This one we haven't fully verified, but I'm pretty sure it's good to go. It just has a lot of stars on it, and that kind of scared me at first. Because I wasn't ready for how busy this holo was going to be. But this one has a thin stamp. So now we have both variants in a PSA 5, which is pretty cool. Let's see what you said. Okay, let's see. Looks like yours are beautiful. I think the film could be from smoke or some type of cloudiness from moisture, humidity, heat, or cold or other factor. Definitely have cloudy cards. Yeah. My high grade ones, though, are usually crystal clear. I wish base set first edition went with the Cosmo foil. It's sad they went with just the star, not the planets and swirls. I think that's something that's like definitely a preference, a personal preference. Mike Concho, you collect swirl cards. Who doesn't collect swirl cards? We love the swirl cards. They should bring back the Cosmo Holo swirl cards. Trainer Nick, how much is a mini sealed power reserve theme deck worth? Honestly, like, all the theme decks are worth like 20 or 30 bucks. But even I on my Mercari sell them for up to 300. So like it depends. To me, their value is way higher, but you can find them for cheap on the market. I know people have. Justin, get a jewelry loop. It will be your best friend. If you see surface scratches from front and back, whitening hollows, scratching edge issues, you know you're shit out of luck if you don't double check. Check it close. The Def Reefer, I'm looking forward to the 151 cards. Since I didn't collect a lot when I was a kid and it came out, obviously too expensive for me to collect those cards now. I hope the design is familiar. I think that's why a lot of people are looking forward to it. Look for dents, pebble dents, or small bends. Andreas, so I've already looked over all that in the PSA 5 that just came in. It does have it has a light, see if you guys can see this. It has a light surface scratch right here. You guys probably can barely make it out, but it's there. Tiny little through the holo scratch, and it has one on this side too. I don't know if we'll be able to see that, but and then it has surface scratches. I'm trying to get close up. See, you guys can see that now. You guys should be able to see it right there. You see that holo scratch? That holo scratch is right there. It goes through the card. Let's go over here, see if we can find the other one. The other one you should be able to see. It's kind of highlighted with the light on this side. It's really, really hard to see it. And then the holo itself has a couple light scratches that you probably can't see. But it's and it's got edge wear. But honestly, now that I'm pretty sure it's legit and real, the holo pattern on this card is absolutely phenomenal for a Charizard. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. Do you have any 10s that you can find flaws in? I do not. I don't go for 10s. I think that 10s are kind of a marketing, influencing scheme. Everyone's like, oh, I've got the 10s. Like, 10s are great if you're getting them coming out now. It's probably a good value. But a lot of the times, 10s go for astronomically more than the card is worth. And I just don't feel good spending that kind of money on a card. I know that the Umbreon, when it came out in a 10, was like $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. I'm not. I have one that could probably be a 9 or a 10. I'm not. I paid $500 for it. I'm not, and even that was insane to me. It's cardboard, guys. It's cardboard. As long as they're different, you're good. Assume the stamp. Let's assume the stamp is fake. It's literally in a slab, and that's not your problem at this point. Other than you knowing it's real. SM Pratt has a video. I guess, to a lot of points, yes, but you don't fully know me. Like, I'm extremely OCD and like paranoid about this stuff. I used to be a sneakerhead, so I've collected a lot of sneakers, a lot of fake, as you guys can see down there, a lot of fake sneakers started circulating, and that's kind of when I got out of the hobby and bought my first car. And now I go through those same paranoias and skepticisms with Pokemon cards. And I think it's important for people to be aware of that stuff. Hi, cutie. You guys gonna come back in here? Everyone's asking about you. Probably want to see you more than want to see me. They said, where's your wife at? I might do that actually. Good shout. Ani A, do you collect gold or silver coins, Hot Wheels, stamps? LOL. I do. My family is into collecting gold and coins. Obviously, I wear mine a little bit more than most people probably would. It's super important. People send cards blindly, but let's say a small grain of debris, such as a grain of sand, will dramatically drop the grade. Absolutely. Assuming it's sleeved like that. 10s can definitely have flaws, which is weird. How 9s should be 10 because other than possible centering issues, but they're the same. You can get white dots on either. I'm so super OCD. Dude, I got a 7 that I didn't even really look at hard. I got a Skyridge Charizard reverse, not the holo. The holo is worth like 10K right now in a 10. But I got the Skyridge reverse. You guys are being super obnoxious and super cute, so it's okay. You guys are super cute. My wife and child are in our sunroom, which has like an opening to the game room, and so they're being hilarious on that side. She's running around with my daughter on her head. Okay, we're going through the rest of these base set cards just to look at the different holos, because for the next person that watches this video all the way through, I want them to at least gain the confidence of knowing that holo patterns are not something that you need to worry about if they're busy or not busy. Definitely looking at this Charizard, it's real. It's real, and it's not even the best 5. Like, it's not even like it's unbelievably good condition to be a 5. Like, it's got edge wear. It's got scratches. It's got a lot of edge wear on the back. You guys might not be able to see it with this dang code thing. Let me just void if damaged. Okay, let's taking this out of the eBay authenticity sleeve. Now I'm sure it's gonna look even crazier without the sleeve. Not really. It basically looks the same. But okay, you guys can see the edge wear on this. I don't know if we can get that close enough. This corner's pretty bad. It's got edge wear all along the bottom of it. This corner's pretty bad. Let's go up here. Not terrible. Let's look on this side. Let's try and get it to focus in. You guys might not be able to tell, but it's got edge wear all along the side here. It's got edge wear all along the top here. My other one does not have edge wear like that. My other one is way cleaner. Like, this is a 5. This is a 5. This card is a 5 undoubtedly because of the surface scratching on the holo, because of the through the card, the holo scratches on each border, because the edge wear on the back. But the card is not bent. It's not creased. This card is definitely a 5 and would not do better in my opinion. Now, the first 5 that I ordered for a little bit more money, I think I got this one for like $4,200. This one looks like it could be a 6 or a 7. I'm not going to show the back of this card. I'm not going to pull it out, but like the back of this card is really, really clean. And there's no scratches on the front of this card. Definitely a card worth considering me to resubmit. But all right, moving forward, we know the Charizard's real now. That's been debunked. thank you, James and Associates. If you watched the whole video and you were like, oh my God, is this guy going to send the card back or whatever, I'll leave you good feedback and I'll rate you and you'll get paid and everything. And then you'll watch the video knowing everything already went through. But I hope you do watch the whole video through just to see that the average collector is really stressed out about buying an item like this. But let's go over the... Got a PSA 5 Clefairy, thick stamp, and let's look at that holo. Looks like the Clefairy has like one really pronounced star, kind of like the Charizard did. Let's see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got like 5 stars within the holo. Let's look at Machamp. So Machamp kind of has a similar pattern as the first edition does. You see the stars are really shiny in the first edition. Let's look at this Machamp. Okay, the Machamp's got a lot going on. Now, these cards that are smaller drawings usually have a lot more room for the holo. So let's go 1, and that's a big star, which big stars sketch me out in the holo foil, but this Machamp has a lot of them. And this Machamp is definitely real. It's super off-centered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like it has nine stars throughout the whole card. Really a lot going on here for this Machamp. As you guys can see, this one in particular is really off-centered. It's got a really thick bottom border. It's got a skinnier border right here. I don't really mind off-centered cards, though. I think off-centered cards look really, really pretty. It just makes them unique. And here we have another thin stamp, which again is perfect to compare with against the Charizard. This is a thin stamp Magneton in a 7. So this is great to look at this holo. And the holo is very shiny, very pronounced like the Charizard, which makes me think that the Charizard's holo is actually high grade, and that's why it got a 5, because I got to get food, so I'm heading off. Thanks for another chill stream. What up, Vandale? Appreciate you popping in and letting me know you're heading out. Numismatics, I'm down with that. Are you planning to pre-order SV Pokemon Center ETB or stick to the booster boxes? If it has a booster box, the Def Reefer, I'm sticking with booster boxes. Life, PSA 8, 9, and 10 are for people who want to sell them, while 5, 6, and 7 are for people who want to collect and display. And you can always upgrade. Once you get a 10, there's no upgrading from that. If you have any issues with it, you're like, well, I just really overpaid for a perfect card, but now I can't afford to buy any other cards. I would rather have a lot more cards and lower grades. That's just me. That's the more affordable thing for me. And I could have bought a 7 or an 8, and I would have paid just as much for a PSA 7 or 8 first edition Zard. And now, instead of doing that, I have 2 5s and a thin and thick stamp. Guys, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 2 5s or 1 7 or 1 8? I don't know. I mean, it sounds stupid when I'm saying it. It's like, of course you want the 8. But, I don't know. It's pretty dope to have 2. Not only do I have 2 more to compare with now, but I have a thin and a thick stamp to compare with. So let's look at this Magneton. The holo looks so much like the Charizard. Very, very shiny holo. I don't even think the camera's picking it up the way it should be. This thing is really, really pronounced. Really, really pronounced. It is not picking it up the way that it should. But it's super, like, this holo is super shiny. It looks like the card never even got outside. When I have it in the light, underneath the light, flat on the table, it's really shiny. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars on this Magneton. And let's see the thin stamp. Let's compare the thin stamps on both of these. Once again, thin stamp looks very similar on both. Looks exactly the same on both. There's pretty much no difference in those. And both of them have a very busy looking holo. Because that was my stress, that there's just too many holo foil stars in there. And that kind of sketched me out. All right, I love this card. What's nice about the first edition Ninetales is that they didn't have theme decks with first edition cards. So that's nice because it doesn't destroy the value. The problem with base set unlimited is that they had all the theme decks, and the theme decks said, what up, what up? The theme decks for base set unlimited, overgrowth, brush fire, blackout, and zap had the Ninetales, the Gyarados, the Mewtwo, and the Hitmonchan. So those 4 holos right off the bat were worth way less because you could get them in a theme deck. If I go out and buy a Zap theme deck, I'm going to get a Mewtwo in a 9 probably. You know, immediately I can buy that $200 theme deck and get a Mewtwo in a 9, potentially a 10. So those are worth those 4 holos. If people are ever wondering, in my opinion, this is why is because they were mass produced in the theme decks, so they were worth way less. And you know that would suck if I opened one of my base set unlimited packs and I got a Mewtwo, Ninetales, Hitmonchan, or Gyarados, which I'd be happy with any of those. I'm not saying I wouldn't be, but you know they'd be worth substantially less because they were produced in the theme decks, which kind of sucks. Whereas the first edition Ninetales none of the first editions had a theme deck. So these really they remain pretty stable in their price. And you know, recently with all this talk about the vintage market going down, I decided to check back in and see if maybe I could find some deals on first edition cards and higher grades so that I could replace my first edition cards in lower grades. And what I found was astonishing and surprising. All the cards that I bought about a year, 2 years ago in first edition base set were all more expensive, astronomically more expensive. I got good deals on pretty much all my cards when I compare to the prices that they're at right now. This first edition Ninetales, for example, I'm pretty sure, and this is what, a 6? I'm pretty sure I got this for $380. I'm pretty sure a PSA 6 first edition Ninetales now goes for like $500 or $600, maybe $700. They're going for a lot more lately. Now this one has a really big artwork, so it's not a very busy holo, and I love this card regardless. I love it. I love how it has the kind of blue flames in the background. I'm trying to see the holo pattern. This looks like it was maybe more sun faded. It's harder to see the stars on this one, but it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are visible. 5 that are visible. Really hard to get that to show that on the camera. But yeah. The Ninetales is a great example comparing it to the first Charizard I got because it's kind of cloudier to see and tell. Okay, next up we got Poliwrath in a PSA 6. The Fighting Tadpole that nobody wants in base set unlimited. Probably nobody wants it in first edition either, but you got to get it if you're completing it. I don't know what you guys think about Poliwrath. I actually think he's pretty rad. But I think a lot of people think that he's like kind of derpy and lame. But I don't know. The colors, Poliwrath is actually super underrated. And the holo looks beautiful behind him. The whole pattern of it, the design of him. I really like these old school hand-drawn arts. I think they're going to be irreplaceable. And I know we have a lot of modern fans here, but I'm a vintage fanboy. And I'm going to be investing in collecting and opening modern. I still have to open a Reggie box from Crown Zenith. That'll probably be one of my next videos. As well as I have a mail day coming up. I will be doing a mail day here soon. I've got like 3 items that came in, so I'm going to review those. I'm going to have to make room on this shelving. I'm definitely going to have to move some shoes because I'm going to have to make room on the shelving. But looking at this Poliwrath, this one's not very busy. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 stars max, and he takes up a lot of the holo. And you can't even see it very well. But this Poliwrath has about 4 holo stars on the pattern, which is another great example of holos that aren't very busy. This Zapdos is looking pretty wild. So we got Zapdos on here. Again, you can't really see the holo pattern very well on the Zapdos. Thank God we could see it pretty well on the Charizard. The Zapdos, this is a 6, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 holo patterns that are pretty visible. Luckily, the other cards that I had that were very visible holo patterns allow me to pretty much decide that this card is 100% authentic and has one of the nicest holo patterns I've seen in any of my first edition base set cards. It just has a lot of back edge wear, and so that's what gave this card a 5. Otherwise, I'm not sure why this card would have gotten a 5. The holo pattern is absolutely beautiful. The centering is pretty good on this card overall as well. You know, it's got the thin stamp, so it's a thin stamp variant. And it's got 2 through the holo scratches on each side that you can't see unless you really get it underneath the light. I know that I think we can see that one right up there with the light on it perfectly. There's a scratch that goes through the holo right up there. But other than that, and then the edge wear as well, didn't show too easily before, probably won't show too easily now, but it has a lot of back edge wear. This card has a lot of back edge wear. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but anyways, so that's pretty much a wrap. Everything looks legit, even though this is the craziest looking holo pattern. And the best example I have to go against this that I found in here was definitely my Raichu. My Raichu was the only holo that I had that was really popped off the same way that this card did. The Raichu has a lot going on. So if you look at my Raichu, it's like, okay, so some of the first edition cards really have a lot going on there in the holo pattern. And that is why I now believe that this card is indeed real. Even though everyone's going to say, Orion, it was already authenticated by eBay. Orion, it was already authenticated by PSA. Like, you need to chill. But I can never chill. I'm always skeptical of everything. And you gotta be. In this day and age in collecting, with all the money circulating, you need to be skeptical of everything that you get your hands on. Okay, so, woo! We can celebrate. We got our second first edition Charizard, and all is legit. Through the chat, through everyone's opinions, I believe we have legitified the card. I am putting it in this awesome eBay display. I don't even know if I'm going to display it yet, but for now, I love these little eBay displays for this reason. They're so clutch. They look so great. So now we've got our second one in our display. So we've got them both right here. We've got our 2 Charizards that pretty much look perfectly the same, but I wanted to make sure and look at the holo patterns of each. One of them has a holo pattern that's not as busy as the other one, which is the one we've been verifying here, which has a much crazier holo pattern going on. Whew. Anyways, guys, it's been a lot of fun. I'm happy that we at least got 20 people in the middle of the day. I know it's probably most people's work days. I'm happy we at least got everybody who came out to the stream. I'm glad I got to go over all of my base set. It's been a while since I got to show that on camera. Pokemon TCG, great stream, man. Sorry I wasn't active. I'm listening while getting some work done. Congrats on the Zards. I think it's wicked cool that you have 2 with different stamps. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's okay. This particular video, I was worried about doing a live because I didn't want everybody to be chiming in, like overflowing the chat while I'm trying to verify these cards myself. And I know for some people, maybe it wasn't very engaging, but I know that down the road when this video is just a video and people watch it for reference, it could really help someone not get screwed over. Card looks beautiful in a 5. Maybe eBay displayed Zard is worth regrading. How much did you pay for each Zard? Justin, I paid $4K about for each Zard. I paid a little bit more for the first one I got that looks like it could be a higher grade. Do you have any gray stamps? I do not have any gray stamps. I have, I think, 1 gray stamp. I think I have like a gray stamp Porygon or something super random I have a gray stamp in that the person didn't even know it was a gray stamp that was selling it. Or maybe it's a Ghastly or something. Yeah, maybe it's a Ghastly, actually. Also, check if any of your cards have crash dates on the bottom. Vandale, I gotta go get food, heading off. Justin, take care, Vandale. Godspeed. Yo! So, if you just popped in here, I'm pretty sure you saw this, but for the last, 2 hours, basically, I've been verifying the second Charizard that I got. This is the second one, right? I think it's the second one. Yeah, so I got another Charizard that came in the mail. Yeah, this is the... Oh, no, that's the thick stamp. This is the one that I got today, and it has a very busy holo pattern. The holo pattern is absolutely insane on this one. So, because the holo pattern was so crazy, I was very skeptical, and like, I don't care if eBay and PSA authenticated these cards. The holo pattern is kind of crazy, and I need to really compare it to all my other base set first edition. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last like 2 hours. Whew. Buying cards just for yourself to enjoy. You can honestly get quite low grades, and they look fantastic. If you're buying as an investment, I'd say 10s are worth it. 8s are definitely worth it. It's basically buying the card raw. I think 8s are great value. Let me just put that out there. 8 is where I'm really interested. 8 and 7 is the Charizard Zard is probably my favorite card. I have a holo. Show yours, my favorite card of all time. Ooh, okay, we'll do it. The reverse is super underrated, in my opinion. The reverse actually looks sick. So this is the reverse. Ooh, camera, focus in. When is it going to pick this card up? All right, finally. So this is the reverse. It's really a beautiful card. I think a lot of people are starting to get into the reverse now. Just because the main holo is so expensive. And then this one is in a 7. And even the 7 has the tiniest lifting. It's like somebody with their finger just like grabbed the middle of it one day. Like just barely. Like there's just barely a little bit of lift at the top here. You can't see it. I can barely see it now, but I know that that's why it has a 7. Otherwise, that card would have been an 8 or a 9. Anyways, go back in here. Whew, gotta go through this chat. It's all mixed up. Okay, we go down here. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Great live today. Can't wait for more. Time to focus on Sword and Shield booster boxes and Scarlet and Violet. For the most part, like, yeah, it was a good live. I wish I could have been more engaging. I did really need to verify that card, and this time I didn't feel alone verifying it. Like, I didn't feel like I was in my head like a crazy person. I had other people to bounce things off of. We will be going to modern Pokemon heavily. Like, Scarlet and Violet has so much in store for us. I'm excited because I'm actually on board with everything now. So, like, I'm current in the hobby, and I'm ready to collect the sets as they come out. But Sword and Shield, there's a lot to say there. There's still 4 Sword and Shield booster boxes, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, and Brilliant Stars. And those are available on Pokemon.com. And I think people really need to snag them as soon as they can because they're going to be out of print. I mean, they're already out of print, but they're going to be out of stock fairly soon, in my opinion, as people that are new to the hobby try and jump in and buy all these booster boxes. Brilliant Stars is one of the best sets that's come out for Sword and Shield. It's got the Charizard in it. It's got a really good Charizard in it. Like, the artwork looks great. Evolving Skies, has the Umbreon. Silver Tempest has the Lugia. That's, I don't think we need to talk about it too much because I think everyone knows what to look for. It's just how much of it are people going to buy and what's like reasonable for the average collector to buy. And I think 1 booster box, 2 booster boxes is reasonable. You can sell those packs when they're really valuable down the road. But me, I'm definitely more with seeing the history and how it might repeat itself with vintage booster boxes and like EX era booster boxes and now 2010 to 2015 booster boxes and the prices of those, which are several $1,000s. I think it's very likely with inflation and the rise of collectibles and the demand and all these influencers and all these streamers, I think it's a no-brainer to buy Pokemon now. I sound crazy saying that, but like it's a no-brainer. It's almost just as good as stocks. The difference is the market can't be manipulated nearly the way it can be with the stock market. My boy, you got the Charizard twins now. Merdova, I don't know if when you popped in here, but the whole video I've been trying to authenticate this thing myself. Regardless of eBay and regardless of PSA, I like to authenticate myself. And the only difference we found, and I basically compared my whole first edition base set. The only difference was the holo wasn't very busy on the first one I got, but this one, the holo went wild. And so, you know, I've talked to you, Mordova, about first edition Charizards before, and I've been like, yo, there's so many things to look out for. I am extremely critical. When I buy something, I don't just say, oh, yeah, that's real. I know it's real. No, like I go through all the checks and all the verifications and everything I can look at, every detail. And so I don't know if you just got here, but we already went over all of my base set. You can always rewatch it and go to the end, you know, at another time. But we went over all of my base set cards. And what I found were some of the holos were extremely busy and had a lot of stars, a lot going on. So what I've come to the conclusion with is that not every card is going to have, you know, a similar holo pattern. Not every Charizard is going to have a similar holo pattern. And some of them, like this Blastoise, there's not a lot going on. You know, that's just how it's going to be with some of the cards, especially maybe Sun Faded cards, maybe. But this Charizard just has a lot going on, and that made me suspicious. But I'm confident without a shadow of a doubt now that these are both real. They just have slightly different holo patterns on each of them. Let's see. What was that? What was that chat? What was that? My boy, you've got the Charizard twins now. Yeah, Mordova. We're pretty much wrapping up here. That's why everyone's leaving the chat. We're pretty much wrapping up here. I'm not going to do any openings because it's already a super long live. It's going to take forever to upload. But I'm glad that those of you that could pop in, I just got here. Sorry, man, I'm working. Well, yeah, and I noticed, like, this is, like, probably one of the worst times to do a live because everyone's been working. But I have no idea what's going to happen at night. Like, we always have dinner time at night, and we got to put Aspen down, and then I have to be super quiet. And, like, if I was going to go for 2 hours talking about Charizards, I can't really be too quiet. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a big deal that you made it late. There really weren't a lot of people in the stream today, maybe like 20, 30, but, like, it just goes to show, like, you really need to do streams later at night when everybody's around, when everyone's off work, 7, 8 o'clock. But I know that the streams are going to grow as we go, but I just appreciate you popping in. Calvin, the rise of MSRP could be good for the future secondary market price years down the line. Absolutely, right? Like, if booster boxes are $200 MSRP down the road, then our booster boxes that we bought for 80, 100 being 3 or 400 really aren't going to seem all that crazy. So, and maybe that even makes investors and collectors hold on to their stuff even more because they're like, even if I sell my stuff now, I can't buy that much. I can't swap up anyways. It's like if I sold my house in this market, everything in Charlotte is doubled in price. So it's not like I could go anywhere and upgrade. You know, you're still steady. If a vintage collector, you know, were to sell all these sets we collected now, but the price of sets coming out down the road is really expensive, then there's not much like value in exchanging. Unless you're just selling to liquidate, there's not much value in like sell your old stuff to buy new stuff. Like it's getting crazy. Like Pokemon's getting crazy as an asset, as an investment. It's really interesting. I just got here. Sorry, I've been working. It's good you're doing the due diligence and verifying authenticity yourself. The seller I sent you did indeed have a fake first edition and was banned. Wow. Well, that's awesome that you're able to do a little bit of that detective work yourself and figure out that that card was indeed not real. Now, do any of you have any questions about my experience buying the first edition Charizard, or do you guys want to see more of it? Do you want me to show you more of the card and just get another look at it? I know Mordova, you just popped in here. I've been holding it up most of the stream, but for anybody that's popping in at the tail end, I want you to be able to see the card. Can you show both side by side? Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got thick stamp. We got the first one that I got, and we got the second one. And at first, the lighting was making them look different. I thought one looked really red like this one, and then this one didn't. But when you put them in the different lighting, they both have that really. Diana, can you text my mom and tell her I'm on a live stream? Can you text my mom and tell her I'm on a live stream? That's why I couldn't pick up her call. But yeah, we've got both the cards right here. Now I have a thin stamp and I have a thick stamp, which is pretty cool. They're both in 5s. This one looks like an unapologetic 5 though, because it's got little scratches and it's got edge wear on the back, but it has a nicer holo pattern overall. The holo pattern is way nicer on this card. Whereas this one, Happy Sanjo. Hey everyone, yo, what up? What up, Happy Sanjo? So, we are wrapping up. If you want to rewatch this once it gets uploaded, nice arts, appreciate you. The whole, the past, almost 2 hours, I've been going over whether the second one I got was authentic or not. So, basically, if you rewatch the whole video, I go through all of my base set first edition cards, and I compare the holos and how the different holo patterns look. And so, this one's really, really crazy looking. So, what I find is that you've got all different kinds of holo patterns for these cards. This one doesn't look that crazy. And then this one just pops off. This one just pops off. The closer we get, you can see that the holo is really, really wild. It's really nice. And so I'm learning that you are going to get variants of different holos, which is pretty cool because they're different stamps and they're also different holo patterns. Yeah, definitely wild. And you know, this video is hopefully, sorry, I went to see the busy holo you're talking about. So this is really more an informative video for people that watch it later on, for people that are just a great live session. See you soon, my man. Peace out, Poetry. Also, anybody who is popping in, we finally set up the P.O. Box today. That is in my bio. If you want to send me anything, it's there. Costed me about $200 to set up a tiny P.O. Box. That doesn't mean that you have to send small stuff. They will hold any items that are larger than the small box that I got, but that was, even for small box, 200 was crazy. I've honestly been slowing down. I haven't been buying cards and slabs, so I'm living vicariously through YouTube. Dude, that's what I did. When I took a break for a couple months, Sanjo, that's basically what I did. I kind of lived through other collectors. I let other people open up packs. And I took a break for a while because this hobby gets really, really bad when you're spending all your money. You're not enjoying yourself anymore. It's really good to take a break. Enjoy yourself because this is a long-term hobby. If people come back into the hobby, they're looking to recapture all the moments that they missed out on. You know, and the value too, because people are coming into the hobby now because it's actually a valuable asset to have. It really wasn't like that, a couple years ago. Nobody cared about it. People are following the money, and eventually prices, I think, should come down. But I think there's so many new collectors in the hobby now that more and more people are experiencing that burnout that comes with just over collecting. Got to pace yourself for sure. Damn nice setting up the P.O. Box. That's crazy it costed that much. Dude, it's nuts. Tiny P.O. Box. And I had to have proof of residence, which is so stupid. Like what? So you're making it so basically broke people can't have P.O. boxes? If you're not staying somewhere, homeless people can't have P.O. boxes, basically. Which is kind of that's kind of unfair that you have to have a property, have your name on some kind of address, and have an ID just to be able to get mail. Hopefully the stuff you get sent pays for the P.O. box in spades. Either way, I know the channel is going to do better and better. So it's okay if the P.O. box doesn't get flooded with mail. That's okay. At the end of the day, I paid for a year, $200, set it, forget it, I'm done. I'll probably make more than that in my first, couple months revenue. So it's whatever. But definitely was more just a pain in the butt setting up the P.O. box. I went to different USPSs. I couldn't do it at one, so I had to go to another. It wasn't in my zip code. Then I was comparing prices of UPS, which I like going to because it's a much nicer facility. The one that I set it up at is sketchy. It's super sketchy. It's not in a good neighborhood. But that's the one that was closer to me. And online, everyone was saying USPS is cheaper. If you ever get a P.O. box, UPS is a little bit more expensive, but honestly, the value, well, my facility that's near me, the UPS is nicer. So I wish I would have just paid more money and gotten that one for peace of mind, but whatever. I'm saving money. Happy Sanjo. I had my second kid back in September and started realizing if I didn't get a hit, I was starting to upset me, and I knew I had to slow down. Dude, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, especially when you have kids, like, you have other financial responsibilities now. You have people that you have to take care of and provide for. So, like, when you're opening stuff for pleasure and entertainment and fun, and you're not even getting a single hit, you're not even getting half your value or a third or a quarter of your value back, it really pisses you off. And like, I made a video, it's the only video I have has like 10,000 plus views, but it's a warning, it's a cautionary warning to people that are collecting Pokemon cards that it can be harmful without moderation. And nobody seems to be talking about that. Like, it is a gambling addiction. Nobody seems to be talking about that. I would love if Pokemon sponsored me, even though I feel that way about some of the product. I still love the product. Obviously, I'm still buying their sealed product. I'm still opening up their sealed product. But I do think it's something the community needs to talk a lot more about pacing yourself and moderating how much stuff you're collecting, because it can drive you crazy. Um, far lately. No, money does not go far lately, and that's another thing. Like, he was like, the guy behind the counter at USPS was like, okay, setting up your PO box will be $194, and I was like, oh, word, $1.94 a month for my tiny little box. Let's do it. Let's go. Of course, it wasn't that. Of course, it was $194. So I was just like, oh god, this along with my parents both getting kidney transplants, along with knowing that I'm gonna run the bar by myself for a couple weeks, along with having a kid of my own, along with running a channel, like, my head feels like it's going to explode sometimes. And, like, that's a thing that I don't see a lot of content creators talking about. Like, I don't feel like a lot of people are being realistic or honest with the viewers, and maybe that hurts viewership. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Doing all this stuff is crazy. Like, the amount of stuff I have going on in my life is crazy, and the fact that I'm still keeping up with it and making content, and enjoying it in the process. Like, I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting burned out. Like, the rest of my life is just so chaotic that it's really hard to do the YouTube in cohesion with the rest of my life and everything that's going on. And, like, it's crazy because I come onto this video and I'm looking for support, and I get support no matter what. But what's crazier is, like, this YouTube community, this little group that we've built has become my family, has become my therapy and my support group. And people don't come on YouTube for that. They come for entertainment. But maybe some people come to connect. Maybe some people come to create genuine connections and build a community. I'm going to be honest, $5 packs is a huge turnoff for me. That price hike is going to push people away. Dude, absolutely. Kidding me? Everything is getting crazy. Like, Crown Zenith is really good, and the hits are really good. So Crown Zenith is like, okay, whatever. But, like, I'm Jewish. I come from a Jewish family. We're very budgetary. We're very frugal, and my mom kind of raised me that way. So like, I appreciate you, Matt. So in that sense, I'm buying like hundreds of dollars in vintage cards, right? I'm buying like vintage stuff that's super expensive. But for some reason, when I go to buy a modern pack of cards or a modern box, and I spend $20, and it just seems like I'm tearing through cardboard box, and then I have my packs, and then I open them, and then there's nothing. And then I'm like, what just happened just now? I just spent $20 and did nothing with it. And to be real with you, it's not even just like a couple items here and there. When I was getting back into modern, I like had a great vintage collection when I started really back into modern. I was getting super let down by modern. Like, vintage is what it is. I overpay for stuff and I get exactly what I paid for. Modern is totally different. You can overpay. I spent like $3 or $4 on Evolving Skies, Fusion, Chilling, and probably Brilliant all combined. Probably like $3 or $4, which to some might be like, oh, that's normal, whatever. But to me, I opened all that stuff and I got one alternate art. That was thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars a week. I didn't get anything. So I think it's more of an investment play, and then maybe you just buy your singles. Because obviously people are getting these cards. They're going up for sale on eBay. We're not getting them. Me and everybody else that's losing out on these packs are not getting the good cards. But, it's the luck of the draw. And some of us just aren't as lucky. I feel pretty lucky when I'm buying stuff that's vintage. I get exactly what I want. I win on auction for a good price. And what I love about modern is modern is distracting people so much from vintage that now is a great time to be getting into vintage because people aren't paying attention to it. People are so busy trying to buy the next best thing that they don't realize that the prices for vintage cards are kind of leveling out quite a bit, and it could be a good time to get into vintage. Um, and I love that, and it's such a big hobby. And still, when you're looking for really niche cards that you think no one else is looking for, you'll still find people bidding on those cards. Whether it's cheap, whether it's expensive, this hobby is just exploding. It's getting so big. Um, Happy Sanju, I literally feel like you just got ripped off. It literally can feel like you just got ripped off and robbed. And like that's a strong opinion, right? To feel like you're getting robbed by Pokemon Co. But I feel like there's a large undercurrent. There's a lot of people feeling depressed and totally demoralized who've spent their earnings. I make good money, and I kind of went broke last year collecting Pokemon. I make good money, right? I almost make six figures from operating a bar, my card sales. Now I'm starting YouTube, so that's going to become a stream. And still it burned me out. So if you're working check to check and you've got like $400 or $500, that can get burned out so quickly on Pokemon, so quickly. So it's I hype up the products, and the products, they enrage me. But I will say, I got this in my first ETB of Crown Zenith. This kind of alt art Galarian art gallery Deoxys, and this is a beautiful card. I keep showing it off because I really haven't opened a lot of Crown Zenith, but I think the Crown Zenith, even though the packs are a little bit more, if they can continue that, Derek, you depress me. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep it real. And, this, you like the e-reader cards? I love the e-reader cards. E-reader is a great e-reader. You're looking at e-reader right here. Expedition, Aquapolis, Skyridge. E-reader era. Great. Fantastic era. Very expensive. I'm trying to complete all these in the binder sets right now. So expensive. I know you are. I love you, Derek. Not the GameStop clerk, Derek. I'm tired. Okay. Oh man. All right. My I think I've got everything out of my system, but Pokemon's crazy, and I think it's only growing. What makes it so expensive? Low print runs. Yes. Yep. Low print runs. An EX series too. Anything from 2003 to 2007, that 4-year run as well, EX series run, that was expensive too. So EX series was when it became Pokemon Co. and no longer was WotC or Wizards of the Coast. So these are the last Wizards of the Coast sets. That's why I kind of have them lined up there. And then I have my favorite, my base set unlimited and Shadowless box. These are the last of the end of an era. And then we get into these EX series boxes, which I'm missing like 4 now. And we've got a mail day coming up as well, so that'll be interesting. For anybody popping into the chat, I feel like I should just do another live later. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I feel like everyone's going to get off of work soon, and that's when I should have started the chat. Anybody who's popping into the stream right now, we're pretty much wrapping up here. What I've been doing for the past 2 hours pretty much is comparing my new Charizard with the first one that I got, the one from eBay that finally came in. Now we have a thick stamp and a thin stamp Charizard. We have both of these variants. These are really beautiful cards to have in my collection. We're finally done there. You know what? Before we close up the stream, damn, this thing is beautiful. But at the same time, it's just, man, it's got such a shiny holo. I really looked at this thing over with a fine-tooth comb, trying to find anything. One thing I will note is that the stars on this Charizard's holo pattern have a totally different, I mean, they're, I I don't know how to explain it. They're darker. You know, I'm just such a skeptical person, but I think everything went well. What I'm trying to say is the hollow stars that show up on this one, when I have this underneath the light, they both show up in different lightings, but when I have both of these underneath direct light, the actual hollow stars are like darker. When they're not lit up, they're darker, which I think you can see that on a lot of cards. With this other one I'm looking at, they don't really light up as much, and I'm wondering if that's just because it's sun faded. So I'm gonna look at, yeah, the stars show up as kind of dark stamps on my other hollows. It's definitely not. Yeah. I need to stop being so paranoid. I'm so glad I have so many first editions to like compare to. Otherwise, I honestly would not be able to tell you if it's a real or fake Charizard. But we checked out, right, I'm going to show you guys one more time my thin stamp Charizard that came in to accompany my thick stamp. We're going to get really, really close as we can to that holo pattern. Really a beautiful holo pattern. Really a nice card. Now, I think tonight I'm also going to pump out a mail day video. So while the live is pretty much over and you guys will be heading out, there are no surprises. I'm not doing any pack openings. This is the end of the live. I will be heading out soon. But I also will probably do a video to upload tonight. So maybe stay tuned for that. Maybe not. You can always see it tomorrow. I do have a mail day video that I need to do because I need to go ahead and rate the sellers that sent me some stuff. So I've got a mail day video that'll probably get uploaded here shortly. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys for popping in the chat. Thank you guys for liking my videos. My family stuff, you know, my parents getting kidney transplants, all that stuff will resolve itself. Everything is going to be good. I'm going to keep trying to make videos, but in this next upcoming month when these transplants become a real thing, it's going to be hard for me to make content. I'm going to be running my parents to hospital visits and stuff like that, and kind of being their chauffeurs. So their personal driver, so to speak, their personal assistant. So I'm going to try and make content, but that'll be why I'm not as present in the next month if I'm not. I'm not going to go anywhere. I will be coming back to YouTube. And I don't know when I'm not going to be able to make videos. I may be able to just make the same quality videos and keep doing them, even though my parents' shower vlog. Yeah, my parents are going to need help with the shower for sure. Yeah, that's going to be fun. But God bless you guys, and have a fantastic night. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.